Hi. In part one of financial efficacy, I spoke about how credit is a class system, how to acquire a credit disposition that will allow you to access hundreds of thousands of dollars. I talked with you about starting a trust and how a trust gives you legal protection. I covered insuring your trust, open and revolving lines of credit, adding items to your credit report, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, how to remove negative items from your credit report, a little about LexisNexis and the 609 formal dispute letter, how to freeze your credit, how your bank account is being used against you like a credit card. And I also covered the 30 different credit reporting agencies. I advise you to go back and revisit part one of financial efficacy. I'll attach it to this video. Today in part two, I'm going to cover how applying for jobs can have a negative effect on your credit report, how your address can negatively or positively affect your credit report, about the Consumer Data Aggregate or CDA system, the different credit scores and nuances, about credit card redlining, adding positive items to your credit report, how to build credit, how to use your balance transfer options, the 36.6% credit limit, how not doing anything to improve your credit can negatively affect your credit score. And last but not least, your credit card billing date and reporting dates. But first, you need to know that when you apply for jobs, your credit score can be affected. You heard me right. Looking for work, looking for a job can result in a decrease in your credit score. When you apply for jobs, some do soft credit checks and others do hard inquiries on your credit. Before you apply for a job, find out what kind of inquiries they do. Be sure to ask them, will your credit check impact my credit score? If you are looking for work and you've already applied for, let's say, 15 jobs, 10 jobs, whatever, those jobs you applied for could cause your credit score to drop anywhere from 25 to 125 points. So you want to be careful and do your research before applying for jobs. Applying for a job can, in fact, lower your credit score, and applying for several jobs can be a detriment to your overall credit. Secondly, I want to briefly address CDAs and some credit nuances that most people are not even aware of. Of course, most people are familiar with TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax credit reporting bureaus, but are not aware of consumer data aggregates, or CDAs, or the 30 credit reporting agencies and the nuances associated with credit. Excuse me. Okay, the consumer data aggregate system is used to gather information on consumer spending, your spending habits in reference to your ability to pay your bills on time. There are 30 different credit reporting agencies, and there are many different nuances to your credit. You're probably not aware that you have a medical credit score, a pharmaceutical score, what's called a toxic score. You have a traffic score, and the list goes on and on. If you are someone who accumulates a lot of traffic violations, it will decrease your credit score. and cause you to be denied credit in certain instances. If you were involved in, let's say, a car accident and the doctor prescribed you Percocet for your pain or as a muscle relaxer, it can negatively affect your credit score because Percocet is one of the most commonly misused prescribed drugs that people use for recreational purposes, even though they're not supposed to. And based on these statistics from consumer data aggregates, people who use the most commonly abused drugs like Percocet, they can predict the viability of the consumer to pay his or her bills. When people are addicted to drugs, they misappropriate their funds because of the addiction. So statistically, such a person will not pay their bills or pay their loans and therefore can be denied credit. Not because they are addicted to prescribed drugs, but because there is a high probability that they could become addicted. For this reason, it will impact your pharmaceutical score, decreasing your overall credit score. Next, I want to talk to you about credit card redlining. They can't turn you down because of your race, because that's against the law. But what they can do is turn you down based on your zip code, which is oftentimes the same thing. It amounts to racial discrimination because large numbers of ethnic groups tend to live in the same zip codes. Ride with me now. I'm about to drop some real jewels on you. So listen closely. You need to change your zip code by using a UPS mailing address or a FedEx mailing address. You see, credit reporting bureaus interpret these mailing addresses as an office address or a domestic home address, but not a United States postal address. Mind you, do not use a United States postal mailbox address. You want to get this new mailing address in a zip code with low crime rates and a highly reputable school district. Overall, you want to go into a zip code that has a median income of $150,000 to $200,000, or the zip code with the highest median income in your city or county. This will boost your credit. It'll boost your credit score by 50 plus points inside of about, let's say, 60 days or so. This is called adding a positive item to your credit report. Then get a new phone and add a new email to your phone, to your new phone. Give this information to the main 3 credit bureaus: TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, all those that I'm sure you're aware of. Having a new address, phone number, and email address will give you a clean slate because you are no longer attached to any previous history. Changing your address can lower or increase your credit score depending on the zip code. You need to understand that the main identifiers for your credit history is your home address, email address, and your phone number. If you have credit cards, you should be aware of something called a balance transfer option. If you want to repair your credit, or if you just want to improve your credit, obtain 2 secure credit cards if you don't have any credit cards already. You don't want to have more than 2 credit cards. You want to make sure that the 2 secured credit cards you obtain have balance transfer options. Listen closely. I'm about to drop some knowledge on you. You are only supposed to spend 36.6% of every $1,000 in credit allotted to you. That means you should not spend more than $360.60 per $1,000 of approved credit. Otherwise, it lowers your score and works against you because you are seen as someone who is a frivolous spender and not someone who is credit wise. You have to do things within the rules of the game. So, you want to make sure that you don't exceed the 36.6% of the credit allotted to you. And now that you know that you're not supposed to spend more than $360 per $1,000, any dollar amount you go over that amount on your secured credit card, you will use the balance transfer option. Let me give you an example. If you purchased an item that cost $400 with your secured credit card, and the total amount of the purchase with tax included was $439.72, you would use the balance transfer option to transfer $100 of that purchase to your second secured credit card, leaving the balance on your first card, the original card, at $339.72. This would make sure you stay under the $360 spending cap. After you've used this maneuver 2 or 3 times, your credit points will be increased because you'll be showing that you are credit wise by exercising a certain level of intelligent financial decision making as a consumer. The credit bureaus will see you as a person who is credit worthy. Just by experiencing good judgment or exercising good judgment, you can increase your credit score by 30 or more points. So make sure the secured credit cards have a balance transfer option and that you stay under the 36.6% limit on both cards. This is how you play the game and maintain good credit. Do not use all the credit given to you. Just because you have $1,000 worth of credit does not mean you have to spend $1,000 worth of credit. You're not supposed to spend the entire amount. I am showing you how to leverage your credit and add positive items and remove negative items from your credit report. I'm giving you good game. And as you know, the game is meant to be sold and not told. This is free information that I'm giving you. You can use it to improve your life. There are people who are very angry that I am giving you this information because they sell this information. Excuse me. Yes, they sell this information for thousands of dollars every year. I'm not a financial advisor. My college degrees are in sociology, criminal justice, and criminology. I have no credentials as a financial advisor. However, I do have the right to share my experiences and what I've learned and what I have accomplished myself. But I want you to do your due diligence and verify the information I give you through people that are skilled and credentialed as financial advisors and consultants and the like. so that they can confirm or deny anything that I'm saying. The bottom line is this: you have to do something to improve your credit, because doing nothing negatively impacts your credit. And we here at Gene CMOS and Personal Care Center, we understand that people of color like myself must improve our physical, mental, emotional, and financial health. Okay, having said all that, let's talk about the billing date and the reporting dates on your credit cards. Most people are only familiar with the billing date, which is the date that the credit card company says you have to pay them by, if you want to maintain good credit. But what is more important to know is the reporting date. If you called your credit card company and said, "I'd like to know the billing date and the reporting date of my credit card," they will give you this information. The billing date is the date they tell you to pay before that date. But the reporting date is the date that your credit card company reports your credit to the credit bureau. This is the date you want to make sure your account is at zero. Pay your bill 2 or 3 days before the recording or the reporting date, and you will be using your credit card interest-free. You will never have to pay interest. You will be using your card for free. Just make sure your bill is at zero every month before the reporting date. Not the billing date, the reporting date. Also, if you know that you are going to have some negative things affect your credit, report these things to LexisNexis and freeze your credit report. Yes, you can freeze your credit report. You need only to write LexisNexis or Checks. Checks is another organization. We'll talk about it at a later date. And state that you have reason to believe that there has been some fraudulent activity on your credit, and you wish to freeze your account and your report until further notice while you investigate the matter and identify what the problem is. Now imagine having your credit frozen at 850, so that anyone that might do a credit inquiry on you could only see that 850 score, that you are in good standing even when you are having some negative things going on within your account. This is a blessing not many people know about. But okay, we've discussed how applying for jobs can negatively affect your credit score. CDAs, consumer data aggregates, the different credit scores and nuances, pharmaceutical and traffic credit scores, credit redlining, adding positive items to your credit report, balance transfer options, getting advice from credentialed financial advisors, credit card billing and reporting dates, and how to freeze your credit report or score. Now, understand this. It's hard to do well if you don't feel well. Part 2 of financial efficacy has been brought to you, by Gene CMOS Personal Care Center, where we offer healthy and holistic and natural ways of healing your body and mind. Our 102 mineral herbal supplement consists of sea moss burdock root, and bladderwrack, which is everything the body needs for optimal daily functions. I'll conclude with some words of encouragement. I don't believe things happen in life by coincidence or happenstance. I believe things happen by divine design. In other words, nothing in your life just happens. Your life is not over. You are not too old. You are not too young. And it's not too late. God knows all your limitations. When you feel like giving up, don't. When you are thinking about quitting, don't. When it looks like you are not going to make it, keep on pushing. When they say you can't, know that you can. When they say you are not going to make it, don't believe them. Know that people leave you because they are not a part of you. And if they're not a part of you, you or anything on earth can't force them to stay with you. Let them go. We all have things happen to us that we don't understand. We worked hard, but we didn't get the promotion. Or people have walked out or turned their back on us for no apparent reason. It's easy to live frustrated and fight against everything we don't like. But I want you to remember this. All things work together for the good of those that love the Lord. It's all a part of the plan, part of His plan for your life. Much love, always, forever, family. Family first, baby boy. You heard me? Much love. I'm out.